Hello everyone, welcome to this Friday afternoon stream. I hope you've had a lovely week. We're gonna be just doing some more stuff on Warbound, as one does. I've been working throughout the week, made a bunch of progress on the spawning systems, on the how I've forgotten what it's called, gameplay experiences. That's what I'm thinking about. So right now, we're kind of almost there. I think there are a few more things to implement, and then hopefully, hopefully we'll be done with gameplay experiences. If those work by the end of the stream, I'll be very happy. But anyway, hello everyone. It's been an interesting day for me. Work is still in summer mode. Nice. I've been working on and off. I do freelance, so it's sort of, when there's work to do, I work. When there's not work to do, I don't work. But I need to start thinking about moving out as well, because I leave this house in less than 2 weeks now. So we'll see if the guy on Facebook Marketplace gets back to me about the boxes that he's selling. But yeah, if not, I'll have to go buy other boxes tomorrow, which are more expensive, and I kind of don't want to spend the money, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, 100 moving boxes. You should have mentioned, man. You could have sent them to me. I need like 8, I'm thinking. I've got 2 big suitcases from when I flew over here the first time around. So I'm thinking if I pack my clothes into those. Yeah, fair. It's sort of a yearly thing for me because I'm still in student accommodations. Yeah, I've looked at the IKEA ones. There's also a lot of the storage places sell boxes. But there's this guy just on Facebook Marketplace who just was selling a bunch of double wall cardboard boxes for £1.20, which is €1.50, less than $2. And they're big. They're 40 by 40 by 60 centimeters. So I was really hoping to just go there and snag 8 of them for less than £10, which would have been nice. But I'll show you the issue that I'm currently facing in engine right now. And that's if I hit play, nothing happens, which is a problem when you're building a video game. Also, nothing happens, and then the engine crashes. So that's something that we're going to try and sort out today. I've narrowed it down to an issue with, I believe I've got it open here. It's right here. It's the experience manager component that's causing the crash here. So it runs this init game state function, which is supposed to just, load the experience manager, but there's no experience manager. And I think I've tracked it down to basically, I've got lots of windows open. Inside the game state, which we haven't actually written yet, I don't think. If I hop up to, yeah, because I've made a bug report sim. It's not really a bug report sim. I think that will be the first alpha, because I'm sure you guys will find all of the bugs that we didn't. But yeah. So what we want to do today is into here, because we have a game mode, but we need a game state now. So let's get started with that. Because essentially in the game mode, if I go into the C++ file for the game mode here, right at the top we declare a bunch of things up here. And these aren't all of them. So we'll declare, I think if I go default game, or just game state. Yeah, so game state. So this right here is what we need to fill out today. Because without this, it's not finding the component that's in the game state. And so the experience manager is not being found in the game mode, and it's crashing. So game state time. No, you're right, actually. Fuck, I wonder if I've pushed it. Yeah, no, look, see? Paxos code is still here, so there's actually no bugs. Okay, what was I doing? Right, we're making a new Unreal class, which is called Warbound Game State. Yeah, Paxo, that code has actually been pushed to the production server. So I think Josh has it as well now, and you know, whoever else is going to be doing work on the project will also have it. So your bug-free code will probably ship with the game, because I'm going to forget about it after this stream and 10 vacation days. Okay, when the time for the alpha comes, I'll let you know, and you can bug test. Okay, what are we basing those off? Modular game mode base. No, modular game state base. That's right, right? Game state, modular game state base? Yes, okay. Add that to the server. And okay, so we need to add the iAbility system interface, but that needs to be public. And then we can get started. I think technically you will be. If I, like, when the game comes out, ask me, because I've got so much to like worry about and shit with just life and the game right now, so I'm going to forget about this, but do let me know when we come to shipping the game, and I'll double check that it's still there. Okay, let's make a struct f warbound verb message. I don't know what that's going to do, but we'll see in a bit. All right. Just make a cheeky constructor here with an object initializer. Now we need to do our actor interface. I'm just going to do that with a small lowercase letter. Pre-initialize components, post-initialize components, end play, and tick. Classic functions. I'll just yoink that. We'll say end of actor interface. A game state base. It has actually been pushed to prod, so I'm glad that, that you're enjoying that. Let it be known, we will add your code to production. If anyone has any other great suggestions, like, I think it's in the game mode. Yeah, there you go. All the bug squashing code. So I sleep much better now knowing that we have no bugs in the project. Alright, that'll be our game state base interface. Let's do ability system next. Clearly it's just user error at that point, Hypo. You know, it's just me, I'm the problem. Oh. That was, unfortunate. Well, I guess I'll be editing this stream. What was I looking for? I was looking for this. Okay, where was I? We need get ability system component. That makes sense. And I've forgotten the space there. Okie dokie. And now we need to do Warbound ability system component. Let's do an include. Get Warbound ability system component. And I'm just going to return ability system component, which doesn't exist yet, which is fine. We'll make it in just a moment. And that'll be a U function that's blueprint callable. The category, oh, excuse me, be Warbound game state. Absolutely, Paxo. If you're interested in joining the team, please do reach out. I think with the amount of bugs that that me and Josh have created, I think you'll have your work cut out for you. So, multicast message to clients. Warbound verb message, not Lyra. Warbound game state. Okie dokie. What's next? Let me just let me check here. Right. Net multicast to clients, yes, and then we need a reliable version of that. Nice. Right. Void multicast reliable message. I have spelled reliable correctly, right? Message to clients. I keep typing fucking Lyra. And it's the same thing, but reliable. Thing to gaming, are you asking about the, like, Warbound? In that case, Paxo's answer with C++ is correct. Yeah, most of our, well, the game is in C++ because it's written in Unreal. We use JavaScript for Discord bots, and I'm trying to think if we have any other things that use programming languages. I mean, obviously, when the website comes around to being made, that'll be probably SvelteKit, if I have my say. But we're not there yet. Reliable, blueprint, callable, category, Warbound. Python for tools. What tools do you mean? Because Blender, absolutely. In Unreal, I still write C++. Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah, we'll get to tools and stuff eventually. I'd say we're probably 3 to 5 months out from like starting to implement our own tools into the engine. I'm sure those will be cool dev streams though. Yeah, we need to get the basic gameplay working before we start looking at map design and stuff like that. So. Player state. New player state. That's the wrong comment for the wrong function. I would have thought it would be the other way around, to be honest. Like, Python is what you probably want to be using, and you only delve into C++ if you really need to. That's sort of the approach with blueprints anyway. Player-submitted bug reports are going to be fun. I'm sure we might have to, whenever we launch like a demo or something, I feel like I'm just going to have to like, you know, build a desk setup in the bathroom and do like a 24-hour stream just fixing all the bugs as they come in. That'll be a fun stream, but Python's great for, like, in my head, Python isn't really a programming language, which I suppose is a slightly controversial opinion, but in my head, it's just a scripting language. Like, that's what I would use to do scripts, and that's what I use it for. It's like, if I don't want to write a shell script, I'll just write a Python script. That'd be pretty fucking funny, fact. So I'm down to write that once we get like a website and shit up. There's, one thing that I'd like to do, it's not something we've discussed or something that's guaranteed to come, but I'd like to like link Discord accounts to your game accounts. And that way we can have a Discord bot that also interacts with that. And exactly, then we can do stuff like this where, like, you know, bugs count for points, and like, you know, maybe if you report enough approved bugs, you can get like a skin in game with some bugs on it or whatever the hell, you know. Just like, because I did this for the Discord server I ran, which was for my marketplace plugin that we looked at a couple streams ago. And it was basically like you could thank people with just like a /thank command if they helped you, and they'd gain like roles in the Discord for how helpful they were. And I'd always wanted to hook that up to a website, and like, you know, if people were super helpful, they'd get like free assets or something, stuff that normally you would have to pay for. or like special stuff, just for, you know, just for helping people out, because I think that's a really good thing to encourage. I never got to writing the website though. I ended up having to scrap the whole FPS core project, at least temporarily, because of school, partially because of this project as well, or rather this project's predecessor, because that was sometime in February, March. I think so too. It's something that like we'd really liked, or at least, I mean, I'm not speaking for the whole team here, I'm speaking for myself, but like I think it'd be really cool to have that grow. And I think, you know, if you allow people to link accounts, like, you know, being able to have like a unified like karma, if you can imagine, or like just a likes, like total likes count or something. So like posts you make on the forum can carry over to the Discord, and you know, if you're active on the forum, then you'll get roles in the Discord and potentially something in game as well. You know, if you submit a lot of bugs, like we've discussed, you know, maybe a skin or something, or you get like a bug hunter role in the Discord. Just that kind of interconnect there is really, really cool to me. So we'll see what happens, but I definitely love to push in that direction when it comes to sort of helping the community grow, because that's not something we're really focusing on right now. One param. Oh, go back on that line. Manager, not manger component. We're not making a Bible game. What am I doing? I've called the experience manager component the ability system component. Okay, that still needs a U property. But yeah, okay. The ability system component sub-object. I mean, it's probably something that we will ask people to do. Like one way of playtesting is you sit down with people directly, and you know, whether that's in person or via like a screen recording, and you just watch people play the game. Like record the whole thing, watch people play, and then we can say, oh, we made a really stupid decision here and people didn't get this at all. Let's make this clearer. Or that's really good. Let's, you know, double down on that. Or that's clearly a bug. Let's fix that. So I think if like a lot of the early playtests, we will probably require people to like screen record just so that we can look at stuff from everyone's perspective. And obviously document all the bugs and all the things that confuse people and stuff like that.
All right, that's our lovely header file. We can knock the game state out. So why we got two includes at the same thing? I don't know, but no, but you're absolutely right, Paxo. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I've got the opposite of you, because I've built a lot of games that I've never shipped. So I know a lot about the early stages. As soon as we get into the later stages, it's a little bit fuzzier for me, but we'll figure it out. But like, we'll definitely be asking people to record things. I mean, we want to know people's feedback. I think one thing that we're really trying to do that I personally haven't really seen in any other game this early in development is really see what people think, and use the community as sort of our North Star, our guiding compass, whatever kind of bullshit marketing term you want to put on it. And just kind of make a game that people actually want to fucking play. Because I've seen too many fall because they haven't communicated anything with anybody. I think if you let me wax philosophical for a second, I think it's sort of natural to be like, oh, we don't want to show people stuff, because either people will steal our work, and people will judge us for something that's not ready. And I think there are times when that's valid. Like, I'd never pitch like a half-finished game to an investor. But for the people that are actually playing the game and the people that we're making the game for, I think just like letting people see what's going on is usually a good thing. There's stuff that we won't talk about because we don't know what's going to happen with it, and we're not going to give you all of our plans and like let people read the internal discussions and stuff. But just like letting people see what's going on and giving the game to people early, I think is really important. Finally, experience manager component. Create default subobject. Yeah, due to the whole situation, let me get this right. Experience. I haven't typed Warbound experience. That's not the right fucking thing. Experience manager component, that's what I want. Like, I'm really glad that like people are liking the approach we're taking. Obviously, like, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have shared anything yet, and it's one of the reasons we're actively not sharing timelines, because we don't want to be deceiving, because at this point things are so variable. But it's also like a very interesting way to develop games. A lot of the early development is very lonely, at least in my experience. Like, you kind of work on something for a year or 2 years and just sort of never really share anything outside of other developer communities. So it's been really cool to like have actual people who are interested in playing the actual thing that we're making, like comment on it and express their excitement and stuff like that. It's really motivating, honestly. So it's a very cool thing to have, even if it's very uncommon. Okay, let's implement compatibility system components. I'm gonna do end play. I want you sort of down there. And then we're gonna add a player state and then remove player state, which, yeah, I don't really want to speak too much on Hellborn. We've been pretty quiet on it, and like you'll hear us trying to not really mention the name and stuff. But that's one thing that I will comment on, and that like me and Josh in particular really tried to change, because I'd been gone for the project for some time and I came back, and one of my big criticisms was, hey, like, people need to know what's going on. So we really tried at the end with like the dev introductions and the feature showcases, and things were, at least in my opinion, like things were really going in a positive direction. And that's something that we've been really trying to continue with Warbound. Alright. Oops, I'm going to need that. Remove inactive and bots. Player array, please. Num. Classic iterator. Except we're iterating backwards. Fair enough. Is a bot. That is a really fun little function. Is a bot. That reminds me, actually. Finish this function. I was writing the spawn manager component earlier, and you can add friend classes. I thought this was really cute. Like, just, okay, this class has a friend, and that class is this class. I thought that was really adorable. We were having a good laugh about it with Josh earlier. Alright, let's do up lifetime. Void a Warbound game state. Get lifetime replicated props. F lifetime property. Out lifetime time props. Like that. Const. No, not that. Get lifetime replicated props, not do rep lifetime. Okay, 2 questions here. Hypo, I'm glad you enjoyed the streams. It's something I'm really happy we've been able to keep going, and it's something that it's nice to see enthusiasm around. Paxout, this is just code stuff. This isn't like friend functions and like multinational functions. That's not how this works. This is just essentially what this does is you'll notice that you can mark different variables in the header as public and protected. And there's also private, which this class doesn't have. I think this one, yeah. So this one has some private methods, and essentially making a friend class, I believe, just like lets that class see the other class's private and protected methods. So it's just a way of giving that class access to different stuff for stuff like multinational functions. Multinational functions? Multinational factions. There we go. Words. That's just like Actually, like, it's not a tricky implementation, but it would just be us being like, oh, here's a faction, allies, and that faction has sub-factions, for example. Okay, anyway, we're lifetime replicated props. Here's my do rep lifetime that I've been accidentally typing like a bunch of times for no reason. Alright, let's do tick next. Again, we're gonna stay organized and do these in order. What is that? 40? Oh, no, 34. Alright. Okay. What are we ticking? If get local role is role authority. So for the server, no, do it, oh my god, do it on the line below. Server FPS is G average FPS. Why do I not have a G average FPS? This should just be an engine API thing. Do I need to include something for you? Oh, we need to include it at the top. That makes sense. I'm gonna say extern engine API float G average FPS. That's not a semicolon. That's a semicolon. While we're up here, I may as well do the include UE inline generated CPP by name Warbound game state. Are you upset with me? Include directive cannot be empty. That's... oh, it doesn't need a semicolon on the end. That's what it's... never mind. We'll add the player states and F lifetime property as well while we're up here. Okie dokie. Where were we? Doing tick now is happy with me, and then we're doing multicast message to clients, and again I'm gonna move that down here, and we're gonna say if get net mode client u gameplay message subsystem get this dot broadcast message dot verb message. Okay, now I need to figure out where the heck Warbound verb message is declared, and that's just its own class. Okay. And that's in the messages subfolder. Makes sense. Do we have a messages subfolder yet? We do not. Time to make a new subfolder. A directory, technically, sorry. And then messages, we're going to add... do I just make this... can I make this an empty thing? Okay. I'm just gonna make these straight up just files, because they're technically not like regular Unreal classes. because it's just a struct. Like it's not an actual class. So I'm just going to pragma once, and I don't need that there. I'm gonna include core minimal.h and gameplay tag container. And what else do I need? That should be it. We can make a ustruct. And then the struct is going to be f warbound verb message. And then we can make a generated body because it is a struct. And then an f gameplay tag verb. T object pointer u object, which is going to be the instigator, which is going to be null by default. And then we'll yoink that, and that'll be the target, which is also going to be null pointed by default. And we'll have an f gameplay tag container, so the instigator tags. Hey Killer Crazy, welcome to the stream. It's nice to see you here. We're just working on some, hopefully, final touches for a pretty big system that'll underpin a lot of stuff. So just doing some surrounding things right now to get it to work, and hopefully, I mean, in an ideal world, by the end of this stream, everything will work, but you know, we'll see what happens. Okay, instigator tags, f gameplay. Okay, let's just so we're gonna need 3 of these, and those are gonna be target tags, and those are gonna be context tags. And then we're gonna have a double magnitude, just equals 1.0. And then we need a Warbound API f string to string const. So what we're doing here is we're essentially just giving it a toString method. So if we ever need to debug this, it's very easy to debug because you can just toString it instead of like writing a really obscure string every time. uProperty, I'm going to use blueprint read write, and then it's going to be category is gameplay. Then we're just going to literally yoink that to everything in this struct. And then let me just check. We actually don't need the C++ class at all. So I'm just going to, I forget that I need to hit the delete button on my keyboard. Yes, that's fine, go away. So now, if we go back here, we can include that, and boom, lovely jubbly. Everything's all good. That was relatively quick. That's nice. All right, let's do multicast reliable. Which I do love this style of programming, because essentially all we're going to do here is just the regular multicast message. And because we've marked this as reliable here as opposed to unreliable, it'll be reliable. Thank you, Unreal, for doing like all the fucking work with these kind of things. Okay, let's do server FPS next. And that's very simple. We're just going to return the server FPS we already have. And we're going to set recorder player state. We're just going to check is null pointer. If so, we're going to set it and call the rep callback so it can do any record time setup. It's great. It's it's been a great decision. The only problem is, I guess, is that like performance-wise we have slightly less control. So you're probably going to need a PC from the last couple of years. I mean, last couple of years, probably last decade, and you'll be fine. I don't expect us to have such dramatically high resolution graphics that, that's going to be a problem to run it on like a 9 or 10 series GPU. But definitely very glad that, that we don't need to build the engine as well. Do a little log warning text. Set recorder. Player state was called on %s. I mean, I don't think we'll be standing apart from the crowd, but like, we'd like to optimize it a little bit more maybe than squad, perhaps. I don't know. I've got no idea what the squad folks are doing, so I think they're still using Unreal Engine 4, which I don't like. I respect, because Unreal Engine 4 was a really great engine. This is going to be get recorder player state, which is just going to be recorder player state. I'm pretty sure they're on Unreal Engine 4. And we're just going to rep it, and we're just going to say on recorder player state changed event broadcast recorder player state. Cool. That should be everything for the game state, I think. Just double check my work. But we should be good here, which means we can go back to the game mode and set that here where we started the stream. So our game state class actually is going to be a Warbound game state static class. I'm just going to start with that actually right there. Do you have anything else? We've got a player controller. We have player state and default pawn. Okay. Let's build that. Let's hope that builds. Okay, circular dependency detected. Fair enough. So this includes Warbound game state. So I'm just gonna knock out Warbound game state, and I'm just gonna say class Warbound. Pretty sure it's Warbound game. Wait, why are you including game state if you are game state? What's happened here is what's called a circular dependency. You can't have two classes that include each other, which is why you'll see all of the like forward declarations, like this sort of stuff. Okay, that's all. Missing type specifier. It's a generated body. Why do you need a type specifier? It's a ustruct. It's pragma once. Do I need to include the generated manually? If I do that, are you going to be happy now? Okay. Now we have Warbound game state pre-initialize. Pre-initialize, post-initialize, I presume. Right. Okay, I suppose I forgot to implement these. That's very fair. So on post initialize, we're just going to check the ability system component to make sure that we have that, and that's fine. And then we're going to init ability actor info. And both of those can be this. And now if we build, hopefully, we should be a-okay. Yes, perfect. Okie dokie. Yeah, UE4. Yeah. It checks out. Very curious where we'll end up on performance, to be completely honest with you. This is maybe a benefit of being like a fairly indie team, because, well, we don't have like, you know, triple 4090 PCs or something stupid like that. We're all just running consumer grade, like regular graphics cards from a couple of years ago. So what some people don't know is that the engine actually runs a lot worse when you're running it like this. So whatever frames per second I'm getting now, right, I'm only getting about 100 FPS, and this is, you know, not a particularly graphically intensive map, but there's a ton of overhead just from running it in the engine. So anyway, let's see if that fixed things, or if we're still crashing. That's not a good sign. Okay, we're still crashing. Why? Let's launch a debugger, and we'll see what's going on. I'm sure I'm probably just missing some small thing somewhere again. Files have you added? Don't add binaries. I swear we exclude binaries. For context, binaries are just like the build files. Can I go to the engine, please? Thank you. Okay, apparently not. Hello? Almost there. It's a little bit heavier to launch with the debugger. Anyway, here we are. Let's crash this engine. And now the debugger will catch that for me. So now we just need to wait for the debugger to figure out what the fuck's going on. And then it'll show us what the fuck's going on. Which is nice. I like debuggers. It's saying the problem is with the Warbound Asset Manager. Where's that? Warbound Asset Manager, line 46. Which is invalid Asset Manager class name. That would be an interesting error. Let's see what's going on. That does seem to be the error. Let's try launching the engine and setting the asset manager to Warbound Asset Manager. Which, you know, would probably fix this. I swear I've done it already, but clearly not. The debugger, it does what's called a stack trace, which is essentially like going through all the operations that the CPU has done, I suppose, in the milliseconds before shit hit the fan. So I need to be... I'm pretty sure there's like a default somewhere here. General settings, default classes. What did it want from me? Wanted asset manager class name. Let's search asset. Oops, I'm on caps lock. Asset manager class. There we go. So this needs to be set to that's all world. I need Warbound. I need to go all the way to the top of W. Wait, WB. There we go. I could just, you know, search it, but we're here already, right? Warbound Asset Manager. I'm gonna hit restart later just because I want to manually restart this, because if I restart it, it's not going to disconnect this session. But yeah, the debugger just sort of shows you where an error was thrown. So you can see this is a log that's marked as fatal. So if this wasn't marked as fatal, we'd have continued. But as you can see, return error above prevents, or fatal error above prevents this from being called. So otherwise we would return the Warbound Asset Manager, which wouldn't exist. So that's what that's for right there. Okay, so we're crashing now. Failed to load game data asset type. That's recovered on. Seems you do not have the correct data to run Warbound. So now our errors with Warbound Asset Manager line 184. What's at 184? Failed to load game data. This is not okay. Okay, so this is trying to load game data. Okay, this is slightly more loaded than I was hoping. What am I missing here? Okay, let's launch it with a debugger. I'll probably get the same thing, but there's a good chance that it'll catch something at least. Or something more that will give me an indication of like what I'm looking for. You can send without closing. Asset manager should be fine. This isn't an asset manager thing anymore. This is just sort of... There's actually a non-zero chance that this has to do with some of Josh's code, because I saw some of that up there. So we're trying to load game data of class, which is the thing that's failing, which is fine. So I guess you'll get an in-depth look at what the debugger does today, Paxo, because shut up. So we're going in here. This is the asset manager. And that's returning a cast checked game data from load game data of class. So you can see data path seems to be a null pointer. Right, yeah, you can see asset path package name none, asset name none. So we need to figure out what data path is. Yeah, you can see it's yelling at me here. It's saying, hey, data path is null pointer. Interesting. game data class data path. So what is game data class? So game data class is presumably Warbound game data, right? Like it's gotta be. But I'm not sure why it's not finding anything. Because this should all be, like, this is, none of this is different to Lyra, and none of it, all of it compiles and everything works. So the reason this is failing is because this is trying to load a data path that doesn't exist. What we can do is I'm going to, that's the music, that's not the right thing. What we can do is I'm going to, let's look at Lyra. Let's pull in the Lyra Asset Manager. And we'll toss a breakpoint right there. So breakpoints are another feature of a debugger. And I can run this with the debugger. And when it hits that breakpoint, it's going to break. So I can inspect what the data is, what the values are. So I'm going to run the debugger with the breakpoint there, and we'll see what data path is in Lyra at least, or like rather, you know, what it's maybe supposed to be. Come on. Here we go. So I'm expecting this to come, you know, not slowly. Yeah, welcome to one of the reasons why you should be using an IDE. So, you know, this is one of the benefits of using such a heavy text editor, is that it just has this built in. So very useful feature. So there you go. Now you can see we've hit that breakpoint, and it's collecting the data for what data path is, and eventually, there you go. So data path is game/default data. So I'm going to yoink these down, and we're just going to open up a file manager. And I'm just going to quickly hop down to my documents. Let me not leak everything. And we're going to hop into Lyra Starter Game. And source, potentially. Is there a game? So what are we looking for again? Looking for you. And we're looking for game/default game data. Potentially in config. Is there default game data here? This is definitely default game data. Okay. Python, I don't think you'll have a debugger, just because Python's not a compiled language. The interpreter may help you, but as far as I understand, like, I've only ever seen debuggers for like C and C++. I'm sure they exist for more languages than that, but yeah. Game/default game data. Is this like an asset in the game? I'm gonna just like yoink a screenshot of that, and then we're gonna stop this and we're gonna run the actual project, because I have a feeling that that this is just sort of potentially it's just like game data in the game folder. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Default game data. That's really funny, because I can't get here. Because I can't fucking open the editor. So I can't set the default game data to prevent my editor from crashing. What the fuck? What the fuck am I supposed to do? Okay, let's I swear there's a way to show usages. No, literally, it's a catch-22. I can't fucking, you know, I can't add default game data because I can't get into the engine because there's no default game data. Okay, what happens if I mean, realistically, I can just roll back one change and get in. Or can I? I should be able to. Or just like comment some stuff out and get in that way. It shouldn't be a problem. I just find that really funny. I'm also trying to figure out where this is set. So I'm trying to... What if I do replace references? It's funny you mentioned Thing 2, because there was I was in a situation where I was trying to debug a WebGL build of a Unity project that was just, I forget exactly what it was. I think it was just crashing for like literally no reason in WebGL. The build worked inside of Unity, and it'd been shipping to customers on virtual reality headsets for some time. So we were like very clear that like everything's fine, right? And the way that I had to debug the code was just by putting like 12 comments in the section of code that I suspected was the issue. And the comments were just numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, they weren't comments, they were debug logs, because I could still see the console debug in the web browser. But obviously I couldn't attach a debugger because it was only not working in the compiled build of the game. So I was just like adding a bunch of like random like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and seeing how far it got along that number row before the project crashed in the browser, and then going back and trying to figure out what was wrong. I think in the end it was just like one property hadn't been set on like a single UI panel that had been totally fine on all of the other platforms, but WebGL just threw a fit. So I set that property and it was fine. But interesting one. Reference viewer. Certainly that's what I want, right? Okay, so apparently this is referenced in the default game label. Which doesn't seem to be correct at all. What? That's really weird. It's 2 whole kilobytes. Look at that. Amazing. Oh, 100% pack. So that I mean, I didn't play a huge amount of it. Was the contract was to build the WebGL version, not to fix the bug. So asset actions. Show metadata? No metadata. Nice. Okay, well, I have another way of figuring this out. We're going to go to, what is it? In this case, it's ulyra game data. And then we're going to no derived blueprint. What do you mean? Find usages. No, it's one of those things you learn as a programmer, is that sometimes all your fancy tools mean nothing. So yeah. It's in the cheat manager. It's in the asset manager. It's in the game data. I'm seeing damage, whatever GE is, gameplay effect. But I'm not seeing any spot where like game data is explicitly set. That's so weird. This is quite the curious bug. So what does this relate to? Relates to a gameplay effect with nothing in it. Okay. I know there's also like a damage gameplay effect and stuff. Damage basic. Okay, so this actually has stuff in it. But where the fuck is this referenced? It's not in the game mode, is it? Default player name? Nope. Is it game instance? That's got literally nothing in it. All of these are C++ files, I think. What an interesting little side quest. Okay, I'm noticing because I've got like the screenshot pulled up. Let's launch this with a debugger again, just to get a new view. Because I'm seeing a tsoft object pointer to ulyra game data. And I'm wondering where that's from. Because if I can find that, I can work my way back. Okay, so you can see data path is this soft object pointer. Okay, so what's calling get or load typed game data? That's what we need to figure out now. Okay, let's stop this. Let's find usages. So Lyra game data path. So it's in the asset manager.h global game data asset to use. Okay, so this is where it's set. So if I pop Lyra back and we hop back into Warbound, and this is right there. So is there an asset manager blueprint? No derived blueprint classes. Then how is this being set? Config. Okay. I've never run into this before. I'm starting to wonder that there's like a config path where this file's being set. Let's Google uproperty config. Okay. I've got no suspicious tabs open. Uproperty config. All uproperty specifiers. Thank you, PenUI. Let me just config. Config. This property will be made configurable. The current value can be saved in the ini file associated with the class and will be loaded when created. Cannot be given a value in default properties. Okay. So does that mean that there's like what is this subclass of again? Lyra Asset Manager. Okay, we might need to open the file explorer again. And we're gonna hop back into the Lyra starter game. So I was actually not wrong when I was looking config. Custom. Okay, those are just Epic Online Service stuffs. Okay, let's do we have access to the config files? We do. Okay, it's default device profiles. Okay, that's like, yeah, iOS high. This is graphic settings. Default editor. Okay, so this is where we're looking for the asset manager. And I have not found it anywhere here. All right. Default editor per project user settings. Common editor maps, that's fine. Level play settings, okay. I'm guessing it's not in the key bindings. That was a correct guess. Engine. Build settings. Map settings. Hotfix. Player render settings. Hardware settings. UI settings. Audio settings. All of the fucking settings. I don't think so. The reason why is it's clearly pointing to, so the reason that I'm like looking like this, right? Because if you look inside the asset manager, this is pointing to default game data inside of the editor. So it's a U object. It's an Unreal like in editor object. But there's no derived blueprint classes, which means that essentially, because usually if you have something like this, like a class like this, you would make a blueprint of it and then drag and drop that file into the blueprint. That's not what they're doing here. They've got this weird catch-22 setup. So it's going to be somewhere in here. I just need to find like a script / Lyra Asset Manager .Lyra Asset Manager or something like that. content browser settings. This is gonna be it. You see Lyra game, Lyra player controller? Yeah, there you go. There's, yeah, Lyra game.lyra asset manager. And you see default pawn data right there. And default data path. So we just need to replicate this inside of the Warbound project files. So this is default game.ini. You can see I've already added stuff to default engine with the asset manager now. So now we just need to go in here and manually write this out. And then I'll need to make the U object somehow. But okay, so we're gonna go script. Warbound asset manager. No, I appreciate it, like, genuinely. Sometimes I do like really simple stuff like that. And then Warbound game data path equals game. Excuse me. I've got like hiccups or something going on. Warbound game dot warbound. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. We want default game data dot default game data. And now I need to figure out how to boot into the fucking engine to create this, or we're going to have to like, come on. Thank you. Gonna do a new one for Perforce. Gonna yoink it there. And then if I hop into content, then we'll see the default game data U asset. And I'm going to do a little silly, and we're just gonna open this with Notepad. Okay, never mind. I was hoping to like edit the is it like open in the wrong? Because this is, do I need to open in like base 64 or something? I was really hoping to like open this just in the text editor and just be able to like, you know, modify the things. But okay, if we go to Warbound game mode and we just yoink out the whole game state class, will it let me build the project is the question. The one question I also have is like, if it's in the default game and default engine, it should show up. I'm just gonna, by the way, I'm just gonna go Perforce edit, because we've had some issues where Perforce doesn't detect the edits properly. And then I don't end up pushing those changes. And then Josh is like, why doesn't my thing compile? Okay, it's still crashed. God damn it. Okay. This is the asset manager CPP. Okay, it's still literally the same error. This hasn't changed anything. I'm just gonna go into the asset manager. And this is where we're getting an error, right? What if I literally just return null pointer at the very top? And now we run it. And then I come back and remove that later. We're gonna hope that this doesn't like, apparently it should run. The message here is like result in soft failures that are hard to diagnose. So I'm hoping that it will like load for long enough that I can create the fucking asset. Okay, no, it will not. Cast of null pointer to Warbound game data failed. Where? Asset manager, get or load data type. That was the wrong button. I'm sorry. Whatever Epic engineer needs to read that bug log. Was it something or load data type? Get or load. Yeah, get or load typed game data. And what if we just like return null pointer here as well? I cannot keep this up for long. If this like doesn't work now, then I need to go back and rethink my life choices. But yeah, return cannot convert from null pointer. Can I just return null? Return cannot convert from int to... Oh my god. Okay, if I say game data class and if I just search null, not null, null, or better idea, this function no longer exists. And I guarantee this will break something else that calls this function or whatever the fuck. It's gonna be like, I don't know, I can't find that function. Yeah. Okay, get game data. Okay. At this point, I don't really have a choice but to go up the list. If I just like comment all of that out, I'm sure there's a smarter way to do this. And to be honest, if Josh was back, I'd probably ask him to just like make me the asset and send me the frickin' U thing. Okay, what are you upset? Oh no, they don't have... Now they're not implemented. Okay. I guess these functions don't exist anymore. There's one more, isn't there? No, there's... Yeah, there's... Okay. Fine. Now watch me forget to uncomment one of these. Okay, oh my god, calm down. Okay, I'm hoping that get game data asset job was the last one. It was like such bad coding practice, I swear. Okay, this one can return null pointer, so we're just going to return null pointer and be like, welp. Come on, god fucking damn it. I mean, unreachable code, that's the point. Okay, fine, I'll make you a comment. Okay, you gonna be happy now? Thank fuck for that. Now we hope that it doesn't crash on something random. But so far so good. Okay, we've gotten past preload. Nice. Oh boy. Okay, what are we making? We're making a data asset. Miscellaneous, I think. Yeah, data asset. This data asset is based off of Warbound game data, and I think it's called default game data. Let me double check that real quick. Yeah, default game data. Let's double check Lyra on that. Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna make all of these gameplay effect for now because I don't think any of them are getting called. I'm also very curious, is this something that you can edit through engine? Because there's like the engine general settings. And this should be in the default game settings. Game asset manager. Asset manager. Yeah, okay, so presumably we can set it here somewhere as well. I do need to. I'm just currently trying to figure out if primary asset types to scan asset registry. Worlds, primary asset label, game feature data. Okay. Let's go back. Let's try and undo all the fucking comments. That's all that's there. That's all that's there. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. That's all that's there. Game state was okay, I think, and in game mode. Okay. Let's try now. And I pray that it's okay this time. Moment of truth. It's not over till it's over. 95%. Come on, baby. Let's fucking go. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, that's actually quite excellent. Whew. Default game data, my beloved. I think eventually we'll move this, but okay. I do wonder. Okay, that's a lot further than we've gotten in the past. We've got a loading screen as well. And it hasn't crashed. I have a feeling it's going to infinite load because it's going to be looking for something. But that is quite exciting. The fun part about these loading screens is they should just sort of work now whenever things are loading. So, yay. I think maybe next stream, once I figure out a little bit more how this works and make a custom loading screen, we'll spend some time designing like a cool Warbound loading screen. Yeah, it's like literally a default Unreal Engine throbber. Nothing else there. It's very anticlimactic. Let's check the logs. So experience is still loading. That's That's the issue that we're having. But that's good. We haven't crashed. That's incredible. We haven't crashed. I'm going to push all of this content, which, you know, for OPSEC reasons, is not something I can show on stream. But multiple. Do you mean like different loading screens in different contexts? Like definitely. I don't know if we'll set it up that way at first. Or do you mean like, you know, I don't know, the loading screen randomly picks like a different background, or, you know, maybe it's even something that we let users customize. Okay, all of our changes are submitted. Let's take a look for loading screen showing. Okay, I'm very glad to be able to do that. That's very satisfying. And now I'm going to do a search here for text, which is loading screen still showing. I do miss my Vim fuzzy finder. Nothing found. Gotcha. Nice. Okay, what if we search for log loading screen? I see. That would probably still be like, okay, here we go. That would probably still be part of like the same loading screen. It would just be, so like the asset would be the same. It would just swap out parts of it based on a variable. But I don't see that being an issue if we wanted to implement that. We got proper, yeah, that should be fine. I'm not sure why the experience is stuck loading. Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of the UI user interface is done through what's called a widget blueprint. So I'm just gonna make like a default like user widget, right? And so this is what like the UI design space looks like. They've actually changed this since Unreal Engine 4 and I haven't really used it. I know that because you need to have like a... Basically in Unreal Engine 4, there's like a container, like a main container that you need sort of around the whole thing, but I've forgotten what it's called. And that was there by default in Unreal Engine 4, but it's not there. Panel. Canvas panel. Is that it? I think that's it. So, but yeah, so if, you know, you can add buttons here and they have different anchors and stuff. So, you know, now I've got a centered button, and we can bind the content of that button. So we can say like, you know, I can add text to the button, right? And then we can go over to the button and we can say size to content. And then here we can bind this. So this is now the function that, you know, gives us the text that goes into the button. And, you know, I can just do like a switch statement here. But yeah, you can like, are there I can't do frickin' blueprints. This is Josh's domain. Say select, yeah. So like, you know, we can have a select, and then if false, we say false. If true, we say true, and then whatever this is going to change whatever text is here. So totally programmatic, lots and lots of scripting potential. I'm going to delete this, but yeah, getting really familiar with this app. More than I already am, very possible. Yeah, I used to work a lot in Unreal, and then I started working on Project Isolation and then FPS Core, and I started working much more in the IDE itself, and I've never really made the switch back. So it's kind of cool to be, you know, working with the engine again, almost. Because with FPS Core, I basically did zero content. It was all code. It was all responding to GitHub requests and community requests to write code. So I spent a lot of time in Rider and not a lot of time in the engine. So yeah, I'm really wondering what the, come on, go all the way to the bottom. Experience still loading. I'm gonna just copy this and then close this, and I'm just going to do a search for, nope, please, I want to search for this. Here we go. So load state is never getting set to loaded in the Experience Manager component. Okay. Because there's no reason this should be taking so long to load. So let's... I wasn't only doing UI, but I used to do a lot more UI. I think the last time I seriously did UI would have been about 2 years ago. Yeah, because it was a little more than 2 years ago that I was doing UI things for Project Isolation. And that was, we actually have it on here, I think, somewhere. If I just close that. I think it's in downloads. Yeah. This is the last UI stuff I did. But yeah, in engine to code and back to an engine. I'll still be doing mostly code, but okay, so we're not getting here. For texting, I think that's meant to be for testing. But yeah, this is like the last sort of UI stuff I did. Yeah, I see what you mean. But yeah, so all of these like interaction texts and all of this stuff. It's quite fun to set up, to be honest, because you basically, like, there's like very specific ways to add these like custom, you know, because all of these, like this like F for pistol ammo, all of these react. So like if I clear mappings and say, okay, if you want to press I, right? Now it says I, and that's kind of tricky to set up actually. But yeah, it's been a while. I've also, like, a lot of my work over the last 2 years has been just with uni, and that's obviously mostly you know, just code. Okay. Well, let's see if I've screwed something up here. Let's do a cheeky UE log. And this needs to be log warbound. Warning. I'm not very good at writing logs, I will be honest with you. Okay, I can just do my text then. Okay. What the frick's happened to my keyboard? What the heck? What the heck? Keyboard. Typing settings. Advanced keyboard settings. Yeah, United States. Hello? I've got fucking English key bindings now for absolutely no reason. I have not done anything. If I try and type quotation marks, I just type fucking hat signs now. God damn it. Okay. Experience full load completed. I'm very curious if that will show up. Realistically, I should be just using a debugger. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Okay, we'll build this, we'll see what happens, and then we'll we'll make breakpoints and use the debugger. Okay. Let's hit play here. Okay, I did see an error. Create widget. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm not seeing our warning thing be called. Okay, so we're not ever actually getting here. But the way I should be checking this is by just doing that. Obviously, we're going to do one for they should show loading screen. And win space, you say? Win. I don't think so. Unfortunately not. It's a really weird one. This has happened before and I don't remember how I fixed it now. But that's okay. I can suffer with a UK keyboard for another, 10 minutes on stream. That's fine. Okay, let's check set current experience. Because this should then call that. So let's say start experience load as well. And then we'll launch a debugger. Yeah, that's fine, Pexa. I appreciate you trying. Let's see why our experiences aren't loading. I'm sure it's a tiny thing that I've missed somewhere. Like I've made an equals and not equals or something probably. But that's fine. You know, it's just nice that the engine loads, honestly. Like that's a W. That's a good thing. Alright, let's hit play. Let's see what gets hit first. Okay. Should show loading screen. That's fine. So we're going to resume program. And should show loading screen gets hit again. Apparently we're still running, but I can't load the thing now. Yep, okay. Let's step over and keep going. You do really like slow the program down when you do this. Alright, that's fine. Let's keep going, keep going, keep going. Interesting. It doesn't look like any of our other functions get called. Got experience fully loaded, which makes sense that, like, that's not. But even start experience load isn't starting. And also set current experience, which is supposed to start the experience load. Huh. Okay, let's deactivate everything except for the start experience load, maybe? Sorry, not the start experience load, the set current experience. I'll launch the debugger. Here we go. Okay, it does look like the experience is just not getting set, which is the problem. Because it should be okay. Let's find usages. Okay, is that the problem? That set current experience is never being used. I've just seen that pack, so thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take a look after the stream. I'm very eager to see if I can get this running in the next, like, 5 minutes. Experience manager components. Okay. Let's check what Epic have to say. I see. So this it's something I've got commented out here, I think. Or even just fully deleted. No, sorry, it's in the game mode. And there's a function, on match assignment given, which is missing a line. Here we go. This is what I need to implement. This is what I've forgotten to fucking implement. Thanks, Pex. I appreciate it. And this should also be experience ID. Experience ID. I might stretch the stream just a tad, just to see if we can get this to work. I mean, we're technically already ending late. It's been just about 2 hours, but I might stretch it just beyond that. Yeah. Okay, that needs to be like that, and then we're just gonna Warbound Experience Manager component, and then we're gonna check the Experience Manager component, and then Experience Manager component dot set current experience ID, and then else gonna do another UE log log Warbound Experience error text failed to identify experience. Loading screen will stay up forever. Wow, doesn't that sound like a familiar bug? Okay, let's build. Hope that I have all the stuff required for this to run. Let's not add a breakpoint there. Let's find usages. Okay, the usage is there. And that should run. Okay, that should run on init game. So I'm praying that everything will be okay. And this will work, hopefully. I'm expecting a lot of things to still not work. But if we can get like a functioning player thing up. That's not a confidence-inducing response to hitting play. I have a feeling I've crashed it again, especially given the fact that there's no logs. Yep. Oh, let's see what they've got to say. Set current experience. What do you mean? Warbound Experience Manager component 33. Is it 30? Check asset class. Okay, let's launch our debugger again for the I don't know what time this stream. Because everything loads fine. We get here, we're all good. Hit play, and there you go. Boom. Yeah, it's been a lot today. It's been a very debugger heavy day. But okay, set current experience. Experience ID variable not available. That's not what I expected the issue to be. So that's it. Have we got an experience ID up here? Come on. Because we're not getting an asset path. Yeah, experience ID variable not available. Huh. Okay. So where are we setting this? We're setting this here somewhere. Yes, here. So let's step back. So this has an experience ID. So the Warbound default experience is loading, and the Warbound experience definition is loading as well. Okay, let's step back one more. Handle match assignment if not expecting one. Okay, is this because we don't have an experience definition in world? No, but because we should have one here. And then we should return the default gameplay experience. Because this has experience ID source is whatever default is. Can Warbound experience definition be Warbound default experience? I'm very confused now. I think this is going to take a little bit longer than the time we have now, I'm afraid. But hopefully, you know, I've got at least half the weekend now. I do need to get out of the house at some point, but I do have some time now. So hopefully, over the weekend, me and Josh will be able to sort this out. Because if I had an indication of what was going wrong, I'd probably keep the stream up, but I think I'm gonna give this another shot tonight and probably tomorrow as well, and Monday, and we'll see how far I can get, because I'm hoping we're so close. Like, you can see the experience is trying to load, it's just not able to for some reason. So I'll get back to you on this one in about, you know, a day or two. Tuesday. That's not a day or two. That's 4 days. But yeah, so hopefully on Tuesday, I'll have this done and we can start experimenting with this, because a week from today, next week Friday, is the final stream of, well, for the next about until mid-September, or probably even late September, because it'll take me a little bit to set the PC up and get back up to speed. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been lovely to make all this progress with you. I hope you're having a lovely evening, and I hope you have a great and relaxing weekend. And with that said, take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.